Hello, Jack. Thank you for having me. And I'm going to talk about karma. Karma is the true bonding for remote teams. Ironically, we got matched with you, and I think this is going to be very interesting. Um, Research shows that employees have leave because of they feel unappreciated, but let's scratch that. It's not right. Um, COVID is here. Is your team okay? This is the main question that people are asking now. And many teams, they want to see how it was before and how it became afterwards and what it would be. It's all the uncertainty. That's why we think that Karma, that works smoothly on chats through the text interface, you just do it in the flow on Slack, on Microsoft Teams. You get this card generated, and that is getting published into the public channel. Everybody sees what this Tom did for them. Um, Awards, achievements, it's built on top of these beads of microfeedback information that sits on the admin panel, and the managers, they can get all sorts of reports. It seems familiar, I guess. Um, why we think it's essential? We believe that a simple thank you, it goes a long way. Karma is for building stronger bonds between people, and especially during this remote work event that we're going through. I believe it will stay for some time. Long term, I think it's very important to keep people connected. More people appreciate each other, the more bonding they have. I tried to do this brainstorming, and you can see on the left, the reaction to chat is something that is very, very weak in terms of bond. It's a lazy kind of bonding. And then on the right-hand side, you can see that the building was named after you. The company is really caring about you, and someone probably named your child with you. So we believe karma sits somewhere in between, and we're not alone. Other companies, some of them are famous, pretty famous, they do this as well. And they introduced this a while ago, and it's been working well. Customers love this. It's a habitual thing. As soon as they get to understand why karma is functional and how it helps them, they stay with us. The retention rate is very high, and NPS is quite high as well. We've got 200 paying teams in the freemium model, which supports 2,000 teams at this stage. We've been growing steadily despite the COVID event. We had a high churn last month, which I call it COVID churn, but overall, it's usually very low, below 1%. We want to go bigger. We want to grow bigger and take a part of the 30 billion market for employee-centric solutions, raising seed this year. There are some competitors on chats, and they have some of the features. We're trying to combine them all and build an all-in-one product. The team has been with the product since day one. Very solid, small, lean team. Thank you. That's it. Welcome to your questions.
Awesome. Looks great. And the product looks really nice. This is obviously something that we at Lattice are sort of adjacent to. So, and we also have had a Slack integration. So my first question is, how do you keep, and obviously you've done it, but I'm sort of curious to learn how you've managed to keep employees engaged in a Slack app. I think one of the places where a Slack app can go down is that people sort of forget to use it. How are you driving the retention that you're driving? Is it through notifications? Is it through the system of rewards? Like, what do you attribute that retention to?
Well, we're trying to make this as customizable as possible, and we're trying to explain that this is just the point system, and whatever you do with these points, you get different results. So some teams, they set the notifications. They want people to get weekly reports. They want to get these weekly like leaderboard card on this public channel, and they see these are the top people. Generally, the leaderboards idea, I think we're going slowly away of it because it promotes only the top 5, top 10, but in a company of 500, it doesn't really work. That's why we introduced these achievements. So everybody is a winner in some way or another. And with the achievements, people get notifications on the emails, and they get notified on Slack. Some teams, they want less of that, and they ask about this, and we are just tell them, go there and set your notifications right. And some teams, they actually asking us for more. So we're in the process of, the engagement is a big question. I'm sure you understand, and people do forget, but we tried it at Pioneer, and it worked in a month or so. There is a period of time when it becomes a habit. In a month or so, people start using it. instead of just saying thanks or putting in reaction, there is a new like trophy, achievement, good, feel good kind of action that you can do. And that's karma.
Got it. And so is most of what's coming out the other side is reward, things like dinners or books or events, or like what are the things that you're seeing your customers most want to get?
Incredibly, yeah, it's a good question. We have the live demo online, and everybody's creating random rewards there, and we can see what they're doing. Today I saw a teacher set up the system for his students, saying that he would go and have a coffee with the group or with the person if they'd be good at learning. And that would be one item. There in Vietnam, I saw a company who promised that cruise, like ship cruise, taking them around Asia if they got enough points. So everybody's trying to get creative. It could be a book, it could be an Amazon gift card, or it could be a week off, you know?
I think this is like what you've built here, I think is a really nice insertion point. And speaking as someone who works in HR, I think having those insertion points and then expanding is important. And you talked about that. What are the other touch points, either things that are larger parts of the HR market or things that are sort of more necessities as an HR team to have? What are the expansions that you see over time, or is it more about just building into what you currently have got?
The essential, I think we lack at this stage, we lack the feedback module. There is no backwards link, and that's in progress. I guess we will get there at some point. We're thinking about it. We need to know what people think about it, because at the moment they only exchange these feats of appreciation between each other. There is no way we know what they think about the company. Are they happy working at the company? We can figure it out. And this is another thing, like we're trying to show on the reports how happy they are with the company, how they changed, and this is already in progress. Yeah, so feedback is something that we want to get started on, and that's the plan for this year.
Got it. And you talked about the importance of, as you go into large companies, because I think a lot of where these reward systems live are at larger companies. How do you make sure, like, what's the way that you contain this such that it's not one giant noisy chat, but is actually functioning as teams? Are you finding that product navigation to be working? Are you still figuring out how to make those silos? Like, how are you doing that?
Yeah, just yesterday we tried to solve this problem for Electronic Arts, and they have a sub team who's very happy with Karma, and they want to set their own rewards for this particular team within this division, within this department, within this organization. This is a huge problem, and it's like things wrapping into each other. This is something that we are trying to solve. For now, fortunately, we didn't have that many big companies working with us, so there was no bad user experience. But I guess, I mean, yeah, we will get there.
Yeah,
you've
got time to solve it, I guess. And as you get into these bigger companies, which will happen, you'll have time to get there. I'm getting the signal that our time's up. This is awesome. You've got great progress, really good looking product. And I think you're obviously tackling a big market. So way to go.
Thanks, Jack. Have a good day.